Digital twins are a manufacturing concept that was introduced to the world by Michael Greaves in 2002 during a Society of Manufacturing Engineers conference. Although the concept didn't go by the name digital twins until John Vickers, a scientist at NASA, named it in a 2010 roadmap report. At its most basic function, a digital twin model consists of three parts: a real-world physical object. This can be anything from a spaceship to a toaster, although that would be an absurd use of such a complex relationship, and even, hopefully one day, human beings. We'll get to that later in the video. Then, there is a digital version of the object, and finally, a connection intended to communicate vital statistics between the two. The digital twin market is currently quite small. In 2020, it was valued at $3.1 billion. But industry analysts believe it is about to balloon massively, out to a predicted $48 billion by 2026. As a very basic description, IBM describes the model as follows. A digital twin is a virtual representation of an object or system that spans its life cycle, is updated from real-time data, and uses simulation, machine learning, and reasoning to help decision-making. Digital twins have many similarities with basic simulation models. They both use inputs in a digital model to simulate functionality of the object, but the big difference between the two is that the basic model uses a small amount of numbers collected during limited testing of the object, or sometimes even theoretical numbers based on known parameters, rather than practical or real numbers. Whereas the digital twins model is able to harness huge amounts of real-time data using various sensors located on the physical object, which use the connection between the physical and virtual objects to send all of that data to the virtual object, and allows both real-time observation of important vitals in the object, and also storage for further complex simulation of the future. There is a huge advantage to having such a wide range of sensor data which is constantly updating. It allows engineers or any scientists working on relevant projects to study issues with a far wider vector of attack, allowing for much greater potential to improve upon future iterations of the object or processes relevant to it. There are many different types of digital twins, depending on the desired magnification or size of the test. The four most common types are component twins, asset twins, system twins, and process twins. Component twins are the most basic version of a digital twin. These effectively cover the simplest function of a machine, or object, as can be imagined from the name. The sensors will cover a single component or part, such as the axle shaft of a car, a piston in the engine, or the hull of a spaceship. Asset twins are slightly more complex, being a combination of several component twins. Think of small conglomerations of parts, such as the V-shaped set of pistons in an engine, or the full tyre setup in a car, i.e. the two wheels and the axle. The advantage of asset twins is the ability to study interactions between multiple components, providing a wealth of data on the performance of the two. System twins are the next level up. Similar to asset twins, they are a combination of lower twins, but this time it's a combination of assets. These are orders of magnitude more complex than the smaller versions. If the wheel system is an asset twin, an example of a system twin would be the entire car. Finally, process twins. These are all-encompassing, and unfortunately for me, breaks down completely with the car analogy I've built, so we'll put it in other words. Imagine you own a car factory. In this case, we can think of a robotic construction arm as a system twin, the hydraulic pivot section that bends it as an asset twin, and each piston in the hydraulics as component twins. In this case, a process twin would be the entire factory, with thousands of sensors, collecting data to streamline all of the manufacturing processes at once. For example, simulations from the sensors may indicate that work is being held up by one specific assembly line, so focus can be put into making that specific line more efficient. One more interesting use of digital twins is at the end of an object's life cycle. The virtual object can be used to easily determine what parts or materials may be harvested from the physical object and reused in future projects. or recycled into completely different parts. Digital twins aren't always cost efficient enough for a project though, nor do some projects warrant a complex system of sensors and regular flow of data. Some of the most common uses for digital twins are physically large projects such as entire buildings or offshore drilling structures, extremely complex projects such as cars, aircraft and seacraft, energy and power-based projects, and finally, complex industrial manufacturing, such as those that build cars and aircraft. The final frontier for digital twins is, of course, human beings. The former CEO of GE, Bill Rue, believes that one day, as soon as someone is born, they will be linked with a digital twin, allowing doctors to create treatment pathways intended to work specifically with their genetics. This would also allow us to model the impact of thousands of different lifestyle choices on their specific health, similar to how a company like 23andMe will tell you that you are more susceptible to diabetes based on your genes, except infinitely more scalable and personalized directly to you. The future is bright for the digital twin model, as huge industries around the world are trying to change their operating models in increasingly disruptive ways. They are looking towards the digital twins concept as a vitally important part of this realignment. As computing power increases, so do use cases of digital twins, as well as efficiency of the model. And thankfully for anyone who wants to get involved, we're still right at the beginning. Thanks for listening. Tell me what you think of digital twins. Do you think they're the future of literally everything? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe for more technology videos on Technology Torrent.